What's up, y'all? Welcome back to En Pointe, the mindset podcast for dancers, artists, athletes, and creatives. I'm your host, Latte, aka Latte. Welcome back. We are part 2 of our class etiquette discussion. So last week, you guys know I had Cece from Move and Touch onto the show. We talked about all the ways that students could be hindering their success in the classroom, in the dance classroom. So just little pet peeves that teachers and choreographers have that we as students could improve on. But this week we're flipping the discussion and we're talking about all the ways that choreographers and teachers can actually improve the classroom for students, because it goes both ways, you know. And so I opened up my inbox to all of your suggestions at home. You guys all wrote in. You had a lot to say, actually. I loved all the suggestions, and there was actually a bunch of repeats too. So I'll let you guys know which ones are popular. This week I have another special guest on. It's my very good friend Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Liz, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for work, and your dance background.
Well, hi. I am an accountant. That
Period.
is my day job. It's kind of my Clark Kent.
Exactly.
Yeah, my Clark Kent personality. But yeah, I have been dancing for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been dancing mainly heels. But you know, I'm in my hip hop bag right now, trying to get better at, you know, foundations and things like that. But yeah, I've just been loving being a student in dance, so I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you for coming on. Wait, a little bit over a year? Are you freaking serious?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've been dancing for so much longer. That's insane.
I know.
Oh
really
my God.
crazy.
So I hope you guys noted that, because last week when Cece was on, she actually said that she started dancing like she started dancing as an adult. Mm-hmm. And you started dancing as an adult. I came back to dancing as an adult. And I feel like a lot of the listeners, they are always nervous because they're like, I'm an adult, I can't start dancing. And I start now, like literally start now, because we be in these classes, period. And, you know, I love a good day job versus night job, you know, as a dancer. So I love when I know that you guys are like, you're an accountant.
Yeah. And that's how I felt too. I felt like, oh, okay, I'm an adult. Like I was always wondering that in the beginning. I was like, okay, I even, you know, asked a lot of people who are older dancers who were trained and professionals. And I was just saying, you know, early on, I was like, when do you stop? Like, when is the time to stop training or something? And everybody said never stop training. Just never give it up if you love it. And so that's kind of just been my journey this past like year or so. And I love it so much. And I don't think I'm ever going to stop.
Exactly.
And I love my career too, but I really want to become a professional dancer. And I think, you know, getting that training and class experience, you know, I know that it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your background. You really just go in and you just do what you love.
Yeah.
And you really can't even tell anybody's age when you're in class.
You literally
if everybody loves it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like we could have like a whole discussion on that. I swear to God. Because that's what you said is like, you love your career. Mm-hmm. And like, I love what I do too. And I feel like we struggle because we're always, what happens when Drake books us for tour? Are we going? Are we giving up our day job?
I know. It's so hard because I love both. But right now I'm in for the ride. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just going to put my love into both.
There we go.
Know? That's how I feel right now.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, exactly. See, you can do both, you guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for coming on. And without further ado, let's get into this whopping list. Okay. So right off the bat, number one, the most pet peeve out of the bunch was not enough space. And people are saying also people coming in late and squeezing in front. Also, when the choreographer does not split us into groups. And someone said, I don't like to be packed like sardines. I'm trying to think if I've been to classes recently that are packed like sardines. Honestly, I haven't been to Cisco's class at Playground recently because of this reason. I love Cisco. I love taking with Cisco, but whenever he brings like a special guest, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna catch you at West Coast, to be honest. Even West Coast sometimes is kind of crowded.
Yeah. I don't understand that. Is there like a capacity that they...
That's actually a good point. I feel like, I don't know if this is more the choreographer or the studio, but there should be a capacity, because to a point it like hinders your learning. Like I know there is a level of like, be professional in that situation, but like also like be respectful of like our bodily, like our space, you know what I mean? So I feel like if somebody's just packing the class just to pack class, it's not like respectful of the dancers.
Yeah.
I think actually for Madhouse, when I teach my beginners, they cap it at like 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I actually prefer, I don't know, I kind of prefer when I have smaller.
Well, I was just gonna say, wouldn't the choreographer prefer that too? Because you're not able to teach as effectively, I feel. And like you said, it's a level of like, you know, maybe we're in LA, so sometimes people feel like you got to come to class and you're going to be in situations where maybe you're on tour or maybe you're in an audition and you're not going to have any space.
Oh God,
how
audition.
are you going to handle that situation? So maybe that's how. But I think a lot of these pet peeves, at least from my perspective, I feel they're kind of situational.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like either if you're going to have it be a packed class, you really need to do like what they said, like,
please
make groups.
Split. Yeah.
Make groups, the whole class.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do. I even appreciate when they do, I can't remember whose class we were in, but they're like, oh, front row, sit down.
Yes.
And I'm like, I appreciate, whose class was that?
Whose class was that?
Oh my God, we're blanking.
Remember. I was in JoJo Gomez's class the other night, and it was pretty packed. And she did like front half sit down, and then the whole back half did like the first like 2 8 counts.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
I appreciate that. I feel like that's a good way to like if you're going to have a packed class, like be mindful and like do front half sit down, do group 1, group 2, like just expecting people to like learn and like packed like sardines is wild. Mm-hmm. That's wild. So that's a good note. I hope if you're a teacher or choreographer listening in that maybe that's something you can implement.
Yeah.
Yeah, since especially that one, there were so many of these. Number 2, so people not anticipating the count to start when doing across the floors. I think they're talking about, you know, when we line up and people are like not ready to go. Yeah, I know. And yeah, as a teacher, I am like, pay attention.
I was going to say, I feel like you have such a different perspective because I've never had to, you know, lead people across the floor. And I always try to just be really on my P's and Q's when I'm doing that because I want to be a good student.
Yeah.
I want to be, you know, a good peer to all my other dancers to make sure that, you know, I'm not bumping into anybody and that like I'm not messing up somebody else's experience in class. So I forgot.
Oh, you're so nice.
Well, I took a class down in San Diego and they were like, oh, I forgot whose class it was, but they were like, try and count on your own. Try and like, and it is hard to get counts down. I feel like that's a huge thing as a dancer. We kind of rely on the teacher a lot to do that. But you really should be trying on the side to like, okay, count in your head and then get it down so that you're not just relying on the music.
Yeah. Like, listening for that drop or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it really takes that, like, I feel like that extra side of like somebody not telling you that, you kind of just doing that on your own. Yeah.
I think that like instructors can also set students up for success though too, because like with my beginners, like I'll tell them, I'm like, okay, after the first 8 count, you guys are going to go. We're going to go like communicate that. Cause like I've definitely been in classes where I anticipated that and I just started and I went and I was the only one that started. And then like, I was like, oh shit. And the instructor's like, why aren't you waiting for me to count you in? And I'm like, well, I thought we were just, okay, never mind. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you need to like, if the instructors want that, they should communicate that. That way everybody's on the same page. Cause some instructors, like sometimes I'm like, wait, and I will like let them like have space and then like let them go or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say in your classes, I really like when you're like, okay, now come, or
communicate.
Like you're holding it. Cause and somebody else in front might be slower or might need some more time to go. So I like when the teacher's really like kind of involved in it too. Then they're just like, all right, give some people just a little bit more time or, you know, hold off and go on the next 8 count. But yeah.
Communicate it.
Communication.
Communicate that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was blanking. Because, yeah, that has happened to me so many times where I'm like, are we just going? And then And then you guys have like this panic on the sideline, like, are we going? Like,
Yep.
should we go? Yep. Like, do you know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah, just communicate that. So then no one's in the dark. And then there's no students getting mad at other students too, because like that happens too, where they're like, go, you know what I mean? So just like nip that in the bud right away.
Yeah.
This one is when the teacher tries to tell you not to take other classes. This is wild. This is wild, but like I'm trying to think if there's any possible reason why this would be okay. Like if you're taking like ballet, like no, like there's really, I don't think there's any non-benefit. What's the word for that? If there's any bad reason to cross train. I can't think of any. I feel like cross training only helps you.
Yeah, cross training and getting different experience from different types of teachers, different types of, fundamentals, technique, all that stuff. It's always good.
Yeah, that might be what did we say? Like, know who you're taking from. So maybe like, I would say don't take that advice. Definitely get your cross training in, because one thing, like one of my students said one time, and I was dying, and she listens to us. I don't want to say her name, but like, she's like, with all due respect, these teachers are not queen of fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so if you know that cross training is going to be better for your training, and like the teacher's just like on one that day, just listen to your heart, do your cross training. Don't worry about what they say. Yeah, I don't tell anybody.
It's your journey at the end of the day. I feel like, it is a community, and, we all want to be together, and I think that's such a beautiful thing that we all work and strive to make our community a little bit closer and things like that. But at the end of the day, you have to remember it's your journey, and if you're not doing what is good for the whatever your goal that you're trying to achieve is, you're only doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
And especially if you feel like it wasn't even your decision in the first place. Because like you said, there's nothing bad about taking other classes.
Not that I could think of. I really couldn't even think. And I feel like you can kind of learn something from everyone.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter even if it's like how to take, like, pretend it was a bad teacher. Like, Galen Hooks did this thing. I heard from one of my other students that she pretended to be a bad teacher to show you that you could even learn from a bad teacher. And I was like, that is fucking smart. Yeah. Because seriously, sometimes I've had bad teachers before, like in the past. And guess what? You still have to learn from them something. Otherwise, you just wasted your money and your time anyways. So you might as well learn something. So
there's always something to learn.
There's always something to learn. So it doesn't matter take from who you want to take from.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's a disservice to only take from one teacher.
That's true.
All the time.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah. Yeah. Get your cross training in for sure.
I've noticed that throughout my journey, at least, is like, okay, well, it might be like my comfort zone to be always take one certain type of teacher or one certain type of style or whatever the case may be. But my biggest growth moments have always been when I'm like, I'm out of my comfort zone, or I'm in a new teacher, I'm in a new technique or something like that.
And I do be feeling fucked up and crazy for a second. I feel like we're going through that right now. We're going to come out stronger. Nice. So this one is not having the teacher I signed up for originally. This probably happens with studios, not pop-ups so much, but yeah, because I'll sign up for classes and then the teacher's not there and so-and-so's teaching, which is fine. Like if that teacher has to go, like do something, then that's fine. But like maybe a heads up on Instagram would be nice. You know what I mean? Because otherwise I like 9 times out of 10, I usually like refund my money and just wait. Unless it's like somebody I definitely know and I enjoy, I might, but I try to be specific.
Yeah, if it gets subbed by a teacher that I'm like, okay, I'm down to learn from their style today, then I'll definitely stay. But it is a little frustrating when you're like, I spent my money, and then if the studio is generous enough, they'll actually refund you. If like,
no, they might do a credit.
Yeah, they'll give you a credit. But yeah, that is hard, and I know it's hard to plan too. So like, I try to be cognizant of that. But at the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, I really want to take that class today for like my mental health. I'm like, I need to take that class. yeah, so it is disappointing sometimes. And I'm like, you couldn't have just put that on your story though.
Yeah, just post it on your story. Like, I feel like that's how we communicate. Even my red room, they sell out. I think I told you this like a month ahead of time. Like, I'm sold out for this month already, just both classes. And like, if I'm gonna be sick anything, I let like Olivia know so far in advance, because I know how it is. And like, people are waiting to like take my beginner class. So I really try to make sure that I communicate, so then people don't like sign up and then last minute they're like with somebody else, which, I mean, all the teachers are great, but like, you know, you want to take with the teacher, you want to take with the teacher. Like, I'm like that too. So if you're a teacher, be mindful of that. Like, people want to like train with you. So like, act like that. You know what I mean? Like, respect their like time and their energy and their money too. Money's a big one. Yeah.
Money is huge. Money's almost the main reason.
Honestly, money is the main reason. I think this one was yours, and this one was super popular. The instructor not stretching us out or warming us up. Someone added on, it bonds the group and sets the tone for class. Dude.
I agree.
Bro.
I feel like my ideal class is like coming in, and I like Monica Polk here on Mondays. She teaches intermediate advanced hip hop. She will sage the room before. She walks around with the sage.
Oh, hell yeah.
And like, her classes are only an hour and a half long, but she takes that like extra time, which I really like, to go around and sage. And then we also warm up and stretch fully every single time. Yes. Even if the class before has gotten out late.
Yep.
It's not like, well, the class got out late, so we have to rush through.
Right.
It's like, if we run late, then we run late.
Right.
You know, and I don't like when they like cut it short like that, because you lose that warm up time.
That's not fair.
Cool down time, or just the learning time. So we warm up, and it's like, she does like fun things in the warm up too. So it's not just like it's not just regular, you know, warm up and squats. There's not really like a bonding thing, like, which I really agree with the person who said that, because it does bring the class together. But I know for you and we were talking about the cool downs.
Oh my God.
That's a plus, like.
Bro, the cool down, I was like, whoa, we are group fitness. That was really good. That was Rudy's class. I love Rudy.
Yeah.
I know. I think he's teaching tomorrow.
Really?
I saw him on the schedule.
Oh my God. Okay.
I know. I was like, fuck.
Finally.
Fingers crossed. No, the warm up is crucial. The cool down is like another level. Like, I could tell how involved a teacher is by how their warm up is. If it's like a little stretch side to side real quick, and then like, let's get in the choreo, I'm like, well, R.I.P. my muscles.
Yes. Next
but
day
like,
so sore.
Right? But if they're like, okay, we're doing abs, we're doing squats, like we're doing, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, like I can trust this choreographer. Like, and you need to be able to, like, when the teacher warms us up well, I feel like I can trust them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm like,
in good hands.
I'm in good hands. And then I feel more secure when I'm doing the choreo, when I'm just in the class. But if it's just like every person for themselves, I'm kind of like, fuck, like, can you give us a moment just to like set an intention? Something.
Yeah, that's my pet peeve, is like, you're just going to do your own thing. And sometimes that happens, right?
It does.
And that's okay. Like, I don't want it to be like, I never want to just jump right into a class. Sometimes it happens, and that's just the way it is.
It just be like that.
But I think if you don't be like, okay, I'm just going to put on one song. And then you're going to warm yourself up, because I try to warm myself up and it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't feel the same, especially like if you're going to do abs. How do you feel about abs?
Bro, I have to do, if I don't do abs, if I don't have time to like do abs or like properly warm up, in my head, I might as well not go to class, because I am setting myself up for failure. Like, if I really feel rushed after work and I'm like, ooh, I can't properly warm up and stretch and like foam roll and like oil my joints and do all this old people shit before going to a really intense class, like I'm not going to perform well, and it's not going to be good for my body. So sometimes I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm not going to go. with that being said, I have to like plan, like if I go to Rudy's tomorrow, like I need to make sure I'm home on time and immediately start doing sit-ups and immediately start stretching and doing mobility, because I want to set myself up for a nice evening of dance. I don't want to be like crickety crackety all day and like feel, you know what I mean? So it's crucial, bro.
And I don't even think just because we're older and
that's very true.
we are.
Okay, period.
Like, my back does hurt. My back hurts. And I need to stretch when I get home. But I feel like it's just a good practice, which like I didn't grow up dancing. So I don't have that muscle memory. I heard somebody say that the other day. They're saying it's a muscle memory to go into class, come home from class and stretch and do all of your stuff. If you're a dancer, like it's kind of, it's in your routine.
Yeah.
And if it's not in your routine and you are dancing like, 4 days a week, 5
lot.
days a week, at least for myself, I'm like, okay, I notice a big difference in my mobility later when I'm like, I haven't been stretching.
Yes.
And you're the queen of foam rolling, which I need to keep doing.
Foam rolling is really painful and good. I fucking hate foam rolling so much. And the lacrosse ball. Oh, I haven't even shown you the Piriformis release.
I need to see that.
It's like 2 spikes and you just like lay on it or you just sit on it. It hurts so fucking bad.
I want to do it.
So fucking bad. Yeah. I know I need to make a video on all of like my little mobility stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
I did have a teacher one time. I will never forget this. It was so an iconic teacher. Like, I think I've told you who it was. I'll tell you afterwards. I don't want to say his name. Same teacher that yelled at me about the gum or got at me about the gum.
Okay.
Like we walked into his class and like we were already late. Like the class started late and he was like, I would warm you guys up, but it's too much. Oh. And then we just like started class. I was dead. But if you are a student and you're smart, you've already warmed up at home.
Period.
So like that saved my ass because I was already in the habit of kind of moving around before. And so when I got there and he said that, I was like, it's okay because I already warmed up, even though that's wild. But I was like, it's cool. We're prepared.
You got to look out for yourself at the end of the day.
Dude, look out for yourself.
You have to look out for yourself.
These teachers will throw you under the fucking bus, bro. Not me. Y'all be smooth. Good. So this one is when the class is full of ego and not passion for the art of dance. Someone else added on, teachers caring more about their outfit than teaching across the floors. This one sounded specific, but it sounds funny to me. I think it's like, I don't know. To me, it feels like obvious when the teacher's like more into themselves than like the students. Again, though, as an adult, you do pay for those kind of like sometimes like I know that and I'll still take the class because I'm just like, I know what to expect from you. So I'm just going to show up. Now, if I'm getting to the point and I tell like my clients this, like if you're going to class and you are leaving with like a bad, like you're feeling fucked up and you're having all these negative feelings, don't keep going to that class if you know that that's a teacher that leads you astray like that. If you know that like this is what I can expect out of this teacher, don't expect anything more, then sure, go be a tough cookie. But if you know that that's giving you like anxiety, making you feel bad about yourself, whatever it is, like you don't like the environment, then stop going. You do not have to pay money and go to that class. Caring more about your outfit than across the floors is hilarious.
I know. That is so specific.
I feel like probably somebody was trying to do like an outfit change or something. Like that's the only thing I could think of, like somebody trying to like fidget with their outfit while the students are trying.
Yeah, and I get that because I think these classes sometimes are for like the teacher's benefit at the end of the day. If there's gonna be a video or
we're in LA. I don't know. It is what it is.
And you have to remember, like the teacher is a teacher, but they're also human.
Right.
And they have their own, something, whatever they want to get done that day. And it could be that they really want a fire video. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like you can take that for what it is. And if it's a consistent thing, like you said,
just know to expect that.
Or just expect it. And you could be like, well, I want a fire video today too, or something.
Exactly. Sometimes you're like, fuck it. Well, I'm going to get a fire video.
Yeah. But there are teachers who it's like, if you want to across the floor, that's really in depth and you're really going to grow, or somebody's really attentive across the floors, there's another teacher for that.
Go to that teacher. Yeah, exactly. Honor your teachers. Like, that's a good point. Like, we're human too. And like, maybe we're having like a weird retrograde season and we need to like do some introspection for a second before we go back to the before we start teaching people too. You know what I mean? Like humans. So yeah, if you notice that, like, you know, this classroom environment is getting more fueled by like ego and stuff like that, maybe, hey, I'm going to deal with it and just take it for what it is. Or like, no, I don't really want to be around this. I'm going to take my energy and go somewhere else. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't trust everybody. It's sad. It really is. This one says, students talking while the teacher is talking. So this is something for the students. And I mean, we talked about this last week with Cece, just talking, I guess, when it's not like there's a time and a place. That's what Cece's mom said. And okay. I think there is a time and a place. Like, it's okay to talk in class, but like, if we're like focusing on musicality right now, but you don't talk to me, you know what I mean? So
that's how I approach class, at least. I feel like I try to be really respectful of the teacher's time and other students' time, because you're only in there for an hour to an hour and a half, maybe longer if you're lucky.
Right.
You know? But I feel like every minute counts.
Hell yeah.
Every minute counts. And I feel it. And like, maybe I'm just a little crazy like that sometimes.
No,
like,
it's
I don't want to
good.
talk to anybody at all. I want to be in the zone in class. And that's how I am like 90% of the time. Like, you even know, I like, sometimes
we don't even be talking. We'll stand right next to each other. Like yesterday, I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm stressed out.
I feel it when you're stressed. And I'm like, I know you can feel it when I'm stressed, or we just want to
focus.
We want to focus because every student is in there to gain something different. And like Cece said, there's times when it's appropriate if the class is a little bit more chill for a second. But most of the time, you're watching a group, which you shouldn't be talking during watching a group. That's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the teacher, the class, and the community.
Right.
Really. You're not taking it seriously. And I don't know, maybe you might have a different perspective, because if it's maybe like a more fun class, maybe that's okay.
Man, well, I think I like when I'm teaching, I'll like allow space for talking, but I definitely get distracted. So I might say something like, "Oh, did you guys hear that?" Like, especially with my beginners, I think because they're like learning class etiquette. So sometimes you have to just like apply a little pressure. Now, if I'm taking class, will I turn around and be like, "Shh, I don't know about that." Like, it's a little bit that's a little bit embarrassing. Like, I might, you know what I have done? Like, gotten away from somebody, like walked to the other side of the room because I like can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way. I just think, especially, so like side groups, you shouldn't be talking, but also, even in the class, like if the teacher says, goes to turn the music and turn it on or off or whatever the case may be, and you want to turn around and talk to your friend for a second, I feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
But like trying to have a conversation with somebody,
there's no point.
No point.
There's no point.
No point.
And there's certain people like I took with Brenda. We took Heavenly's class, and I was like, I can't stand next to you. Like, there's some people, like, if you know that you're gonna fuck around with them just because that's what it is, just don't even stand next to your friend. Like, I will go in a completely different group. Like, I cannot, because I'll die. So just like know your own tendencies. Like, I feel like I'm a big goofball, so sometimes I have to be like, don't talk to Liz, she's focusing, because I will straight up like start going there. So know your tendencies, and if you're around somebody that is doing that, like, just walk away from them. I mean, you could, hey girl, you're disrupted, da 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 da, but I mean, I don't know, everybody's an adult. If they want to talk and waste their money, that's fine. They're not going to waste my money, so let me go walk somewhere else. Yeah,
and I think really you bringing the energy that you bring to class is the most important thing, because you're going to try and lead by example. Like you said, people are adults. They're going to do what they want to do. Even if you tell them to be quiet, they don't have to.
They literally
Even
don't.
if the teacher tells them to be quiet, they don't have to.
Right.
So all you could do is focus on yourself and just try and make the class experience the best for you and the other people around you. And that's really all you can do.
Yeah.
That's how I come from it, because I feel like a lot of the times people feed off that energy that you give off. So I try to be really cognizant of like, I want to be a good student today.
Do you like when the teachers like break people off and be like, stop talking?
I do sometimes because I feel like sometimes I think that and I'm like, I'm not going to say it.
Right.
But I appreciate when they do it respectfully. Obviously.
Yeah.
Which I feel like most of the time teachers that I've seen have done it respectfully.
I mean, like respectfully, but like in a shade kind of way. Like, is shade respectful?
I love a little shade though.
It is kind of shade.
I do like it a little bit. But I'm like,
I be getting like scared though, because it's like when you know when your like sibling gets yelled at by your parents and then everyone's kind of like low key in trouble. Like I be feeling like that. Like I'm like, oh shit. Like
yeah, it's almost like okay.
Yeah, and then we all have to act normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess it's how you do it. I try to like joke around. Like I think that's why I do like it's so funny because I'm like I was talking about this with my husband. I'm like I definitely am confrontational. Like not bad confrontational, but I am confrontational. But like when it comes to teaching and stuff, like I'm like I can't have any sort of confrontation in my classes. So if there is talking, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, did you guys hear that? Like, you know what I mean?
You're so nice about it. I feel like you're more just like in a friendly way.
Yeah. I'm like a nice teacher, but I'm like, I don't like the nice teachers. I don't think I would like me as a teacher. I'd be like, this bitch is too nice. This is another popular one that was flying out the inbox. Students not understanding spatial awareness. Someone added on no windows. Someone added on I'm getting kicked in the face. This one's wild. This one's a problem everywhere at any level. My beginner classes, they started putting stickers on the floor so people stay on their sticker.
Really? Okay. What I don't get the spatial awareness. I think sometimes when it comes to advanced classes, I understand because people in advanced classes in LA that I've noticed, they travel a lot. So
right.
Traveling, I feel like that's just a skill set of spatial awareness that you're going to pick up the more advanced classes you take. So I think in those situations, it's a little different, but always try your hardest to be aware of your surroundings and like respectful of other people's space, because you don't want to kick someone in the face.
Oh my God.
Which I feel like has happened to me a lot. Like somebody will like step on my hand.
Oh my God.
Like step on my hair or whatever, you know, but yeah, I don't get it.
The spatial awareness is wild. Like even like, yeah, you're like last night we were doing a lot of traveling, but I feel like if you get stuck on a part of a choreo, like maybe it's, I don't know if it's common sense or just knowing that the choreo moves, like at least like, even if I'm not getting the movement, I still step with the crowd.
Yep.
I'm Jello. Like, is it Jello?
Yeah.
Just pretend that you're in a big ball of Jello with your classmates and move with them. So at least you're like not in the way. So sure, we're fucking up the choreo, whatever. But you're still staying with the crowd, so you're not bumping into people. Yeah, because that's the kicking in the face and the stuff. Like,
I feel like with heels, I feel that it's especially that way, or it's harder to be more aware of your surroundings because you do a lot of like leg extensions, or if you're doing floor work, but that also goes with like, if there's not enough space for people to work, then you really need to split the group up.
Yeah, because why are you going full out if you know? And somebody else was in my DMs, big paragraph about that. Like, why are you going full out when you know that we don't have the space for it? That's kind of just rude at that point.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you should not be going full out. I like wait until I definitely have space.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do like a full turn and then like, do a hair flip or do any of that until, I have enough space. And I also just try to, even when we're just doing like windows, like be thoughtful of your windows when you're dancing, because you could be cutting somebody off and just try and always stay in that window. It's kind of like what you said. It's like you're a blob. You're Jello.
Pretend you're Jello.
You guys are all one unit.
Yeah, moving as one. Yeah, the windows is... Sometimes there's just hella people. You can't find a window. So I get that. If you're a person, like, sometimes I'm like, fuck it, I don't need a window. Yeah. But if you're a person that, like, needs to see yourself in the mirror, like, set yourself up. Maybe you need to stand more in the front. And if you're a teacher, I feel like read the room. Like, look at your students. Like, are they like scared to move? Like, you can tell when people are like holding back because they don't want to kick so-and-so. Like,
or the class starts off with like everybody walking in. I feel like this happens a lot. Everybody walks in, picks their spot, doesn't move, and they don't want to move out of that spot.
yeah.
And I get that because, you know, it's like your comfort zone. But then I feel like that's what causes the nobody having spatial awareness, because they're like, I'm going to stay in my area. But it's like, well, you might need to travel a little bit, and then people are going to travel into you, and you're going to travel into other people because now you're getting into their space. So don't get so like tied to one spot.
Stuck to your spot.
That is actually a pet peeve. I feel like I like when teachers say move.
Ooh.
It mixes it up, and it gets people out of their spatial little zone that they've set up, and it helps like at least me feel like, I mean, it messed me up last night because I moved, but that's a good thing because
right.
you're put out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, I turned them face the back wall.
That was a good challenge though.
It was. And that's the whole point of like moving, I feel, and it's so beneficial.
You know what? That's so funny. I never do that. Like, even with if I have 25 people, if I have 7 people, I never do that. And I never thought to do that. And I think I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Because it is good for people to like mix it up and not dance in the same freaking spot. And it does also give people who are constantly in the back like that little push to like get to the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can even say like move back line to the front line, or I like
switch sides.
Sometimes just say move anywhere else. But yeah, I feel like that kind of goes along with spatial awareness, because I've noticed that sometimes in class people can almost get a little bit selfish with like their space, and then they don't really care if they're gonna hit other people because they're kind of in their own head. So just try and come to class with like a mindset of like, this class isn't just for me.
Hell yeah. You're not the only
private
person that paid for class. Like, you're not VIP. Imagine if we had VIP sections of class. Oh my God.
That'd be crazy.
I would always pay for VIP. This one says other students talking about what they can't do. I like that, because if I'm like taking a hard class and like I already hear people like, I don't know, start mumbling and grumbling, then I'm like, well, damn, there's no hope for me, huh?
It's already a bad mindset to start off with.
Yeah. You should start here. No, you should start here and then like let yourself naturally know.
Well, I mean, yeah, because
just always start here regardless.
Yeah, always start there. That's how I feel, because it's like, I don't know, most classes I take are really hard.
That's every fucking class we've been taking. You know what's so funny? Last night, so we took face off last night. That shit was hard. It's always hard. It's always fast. Like, and like this thing happens like mid class. I start to like check out, or I'm just like, fuck, this is hard. And then I have to like gaslight. You guys know I love gaslighting myself. So like, that's what I was doing last night. I was like, oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get this. Like, I start to, okay, this is the one where I get it. Like, and like, do I get it? I don't know. Maybe not. But like, when you already just start negative, like you don't have anywhere to go. Like you can't go from there. So just start with this positive thought, like you're going to get it and it'll continue. You can't just immediately just take your mind to the dumps. It's not a good strategy for taking class.
Well, if you already start saying you're not going to get it, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to get it if you say it. And then, yeah, you're like a I was going to say like a germ. Like you're like a germ and you like infect everybody around you. If you start being negative, like I'm sure you guys have all been around somebody negative in your life, like whether dance related or not, like they suck the energy out of you. And so like you don't want to be that person in class. Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard on yourself. Like if it's already a hard class. Even if it's a beginner class, there's always a challenge in some way, you know, when you're going. You're pushing yourself, which is great that you're showing up. But if you're already telling yourself, well, this is too hard for me, this is above my my skill level, that's okay. I feel like you're never going to get better unless you push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you're never going to learn if you're just constantly saying like you can't do things. You know, you have to tell yourself, well, I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to hopefully get it. I'm gonna do my best to get it, and if I don't, at least I learned something.
Exactly. You can never like fail if you're always learning something.
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, don't be that person though, because like, yeah, what if your friend is like trying to do like positive self-talk like we're talking about, and then like, you know, you're the person being negative. Like, don't be that thing hindering your friends, you know what I mean? Like, and also if you're the friend and your other friend starts going to that negative space, maybe you go stand somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, it might be one of those too. Like, if you know so-and-so, whenever they take class, they get really negative. Like, okay, well, friend, I'm going to go stand with the people that can do it. Like, and it's nothing personal. It's just like, it's a mindset thing. It really, I mean, you have to do that in life too, though. That's like a life thing.
It is. Yeah. That's what you should do in any situation, really.
In any situation.
And you have bad days, obviously. There's going to be days when you come to class and you're like feeling really low, or, you know, you're really feeling like kind of down on yourself. Something bad happened in the day at work or whatever. And you might feel like kind of down on yourself, like, oh, I can't do anything today. But use dance as not a place of like to fuel that negativity.
Yeah.
Use dance as a place to like shake that shit off.
Hell yeah.
Shake it off. That's what I did on Monday. I was like, I'm just coming to class because I already felt like I had a bad day. And I'm like, I'm not going to bring that in here because this is like my sanctuary. And this is where I get it all out. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's like a life one too, honestly.
Yeah.
This one says, not recording everyone in a small group at least once. Someone added on, when teachers call out the same individuals every week. This one's interesting because I honestly feel this person, like, that does suck. Like, can you at least record us all one time? Like, I get that for sure. Especially if you pay for class and you're thinking like footage is included or whatever. Like, I get that. On the old head side, so you guys know I'm an old head. Back in the day, you only got called out if you were killing it. So like I've been not called out so many fucking times because I'm not killing it, and I don't take it personally. I just go back to the drawing board and work harder. Like, that's just what it is. But also, that does suck if the teacher's just like calling out the same, like their friends or something every single class, and like you can expect it like clockwork. So there's like layers to this one. I think, like how me and Cece were saying, know who you're taking from. If you know that they call out their friends and it has nothing to do with you, don't take that shit personal. Just know that when you sign up for the class. But you can always have a discussion with the choreographer. That's always like an option. Like, if you feel like there's something like underlying going on. Like, I've had clients that have reached out to me, not about me, but like, they're like, hey, I'm not getting recorded in this class. What should I do? And I'm like, honestly, I don't think it's anything personal. I think they call out their friends. Like, I don't think it's anything that you're doing. So like, shake it off that it's you, because it's not you. Sometimes people just be going through their own things, and maybe that's why. But yeah, recording everybody at least once, I feel like that's like an easy thing to do. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
It depends on class size, I feel.
Oh,
because if it's a huge class,
true,
I'm not going to expect to get like picked.
Very true.
But if there's like 10 people in here,
can we all get called out? Like, damn.
It's also just like, and that's even more nerve-wracking to be put in a group of like a smaller group. At least that's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, if it's a really small class, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, if there's time to film everyone, just to give everybody that opportunity to kind of grow in that space. But if it's a big class and, you know, you're not getting picked, you made a really good point. It's like, just, you know, kind of brush it off.
Shit.
And talk to the teacher. I feel like that's something I'm trying to get better at, is like, okay, talk to the teacher. Always say thank you after you leave. At least I try to do that. But like, ask them, like, you know, if it's appropriate time and they're not busy or trying to leave, but be like, you know, is there anything I can work on that you noticed? Or, you know, it's a journey, and you're there to learn. So you're not always going to be perfect, and you're not always going to get picked. But yeah, if it's somebody always picking they're the same people or the same friends, you can tell.
Oh, you can hella tell, like, for sure. And then, but I always love when they're like, if teachers ever are like, can I get 4 people on the floor? Sprint out to that shit. I feel like that's a good way to show, like, you should have been picking me this whole time. Like, yeah, I feel like I do that. I like playground.
Yeah. Oh my God, you are good at like
playground. I could do that, but like, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get on those like, oh, 4 people come out, don't stand behind people. I'm kind of guilty of that sometimes, where I'm like, okay, I need to put myself in front, so I'm not like pushing around people to get to the front. You just need to be already ready to go out there and put yourself out there. But yeah, it'd be nice if teachers could, give everybody an opportunity, or like somebody that they see never comes out, be like, I'm going to call you out. Yeah. That's just not the case a lot.
You know what I make my beginners do? And it's kind of like a mind fuck. I'll be like, I only do 4 people go. I don't pick groups, but it's only for my beginners because I want them to choose themselves.
Yeah.
I want them to go out for and I tell them this every week. I'm like, I'm not doing groups because I want you to go and decide that you are good, because you're good and you don't need me to say that. So sometimes it's just like one of those, like, I won't do groups, or like, I won't pick the groups. I just like let them do it. Cause I like, sometimes you just got to go out and just be like, I want to do a group. Like,
that is like the biggest, like, if you can get past that fear of doing that, that's like not only good for dance, but I feel like that's just a good, like, I don't know, fear to get over in general in life.
Bro.
And I think that's my favorite group call out is when there's no like picking anybody.
Me too.
It's just like
go
5, and then you're kind of put on the spot, and like you start to trust yourself a little bit more. It's a challenge for yourself. So I think that's my favorite.
I think that is too. And it depends. Like sometimes you just don't even. Sometimes I don't want to be in a group.
Same.
Sometimes I just don't want to film that day. Someone said when the class is marketed as a certain level but is clearly not that. That is honestly why I don't do open level classes. Me personally, I don't do that, because when I did, I would run into that because I want to like do the most, or like, I don't know, whatever. But it wasn't serving my beginners well, and then it wasn't serving my advanced people well. So like, I just don't do that anymore. I don't do the open level. It's hard.
Yeah. It's I've run into that a lot. Like if it's like beginner, but the teacher's like clearly advanced, it's like whoever's going is gonna kind of feel defeated.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. So try your best to just market it the best you can, and just be as honest as you can. And even if it's like not the right, say you're leveling up as a teacher and it's like now you're actually more advanced.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I can't change the name or whatever yet. At least let the dancers know before you start class. Be like, you guys, on your story, this is a advanced level choreo tonight. Or, before you class, like, don't be down on yourselves. I made it a little harder.
Right.
It's harder today.
Yeah.
And being more transparent about the level of the choreography. I feel like in LA, it's a little bit different because everything out here is just hard, even if it's beginner.
Everything's just equally hard.
Yeah, even if it's beginner, I'm like, this ain't beginner.
This is not beginner.
For me. But I feel like, yeah, just be really cognizant of that. And like, I feel like if people are saying, oh, it's a challenge, so we're gonna like, I don't know, it's a challenge, so we're not gonna do it all, or it's a challenge and does anybody want to keep going? If you're like you got to read the room. Read the room of people's like skill level that day. I make my beginner classes very beginner, and then my like intermediate classes very intermediate. But my beginner students, they know like my jump from beginner to intermediate is like a jump. So like, I think that's how it should be.
I think so too. I don't think it's usually that way. So then when they act, like I've had a few students trickle in, like when I did Sean Paul and I was like, this is intermediate. And they're like, it's okay. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, fuck, that was hard. And I was like, I told you.
Yeah.
Don't let it deter you. No. But like,
it should be a push.
It should be a push. But you, like, as a teacher, like, your goal is to make sure the students feel, like, accomplished. So if you give beginners beginning work, hell yeah, they're going to crush it. And then they feel good. And you're doing a good job as a teacher. If you give beginners intermediate advanced shit, they're going to, I'm going to crumble. Yep. Do you know what I mean? And so you're not doing them any justice. And then you're not doing yourself any good too. Just maybe separate the class levels. Like whatever you need to do to like market what it's supposed to be. I think that's so important. You don't want to just like crush people's feelings just because you feel spicy that day.
No, I remember going into a class that was beginner and it was advanced choreography, and I was like, I suck. I felt like I sucked that day, and I was like, I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, okay, well then the student adjusts their expectations.
Yeah.
Right. And then they start thinking, okay, well, it's a beginner class, but it's actually advanced. And then that's just a mind. That's that's hard on your mind every time you go in.
That's hella hard. Yeah. Especially if you're really trying to work on beginner level stuff. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Make sure you guys are mindful of that. This one is hilarious because this was also on the choreographers and teachers. Chewing gum, it's not a facial. Some students said that. The chewing gum is a hot topic. Even our teacher last night choked on his, he swallowed his gum. And he was stressed. I know. See? Shouldn't have been chewing gum. Like, I guess just stop chewing gum in class, y'all. I don't know.
I don't chew gum. Period.
Like, I don't know. Really?
I have TMJ, so it hurts my.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, it could drop and fall on the ground.
It could drop and fall.
Or you could choke on it.
You could choke on it and swallow it. Yeah, I don't know why people think it's a facial. Well, I don't know, because I was one of these people that thought it was a facial. So I don't know. I was one of these people. It's not a facial, y'all. I think like people think like the chewing gum is like nonchalant and cool.
Okay. I just don't.
Do you know what I mean? So like they want to be like, I don't know, in my head, like that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I think there's other ways that we can express that without chewing gum.
Yeah, work on your facial.
Let's lay the gum chewing to rest.
Yeah, no more.
R.I.P. Trident.
R.I.P.
Okay. This one, I was like, oop. To be honest, teachers airing out their business on social media, it's icky. This one's hilarious. I feel like if you're a teacher, like you're like a social leader. Like you're like a social, it's not, I don't want to say influencer because that's not the word, but like you're like a social, like a mentor.
Role model?
A role model. There we go. Like you really should not be doing any of this. There's so many fucking teachers that do this.
I know.
There's so many fucking teachers. I fucking hate the black screens with the text. Like,
they got something to say.
I will die before posting a black screen with a text. I swear. If I ever post a black screen with a text, just know that it's not me.
Well, I'll message you.
I was abducted. It's AI.
Yeah.
Like there's no fucking way. I hate that. Yeah, keep it cute. You're a role model.
And if you have something to say, I feel like just say it to the actual person.
Yeah, just say it to the actual person.
Or, air out your grievances with your friends or something. But
some of them, like the one that we saw, or I don't know, I think that was me and Brenda or me and you. It was like about students. I was like, this is wild. Like, why are you bashing on your base of like your audience base?
Yeah, and I get constructive criticism. Obviously, right. But like, there's a difference. Don't be, on social media, be messy.
Don't be messy. Just as a person, like choreographer, teacher or not, please don't be messy on social media. I said this on the filming episode. What you put on the internet stays on the fucking internet. I am so fucking scared of the internet. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't want to get canceled. Nothing. I don't want Gen Z to come for me. Nothing. So do not put anything on the internet that you don't want to be photocopied and like put in the newspaper. I don't know. But like, don't be messy. Like, keep your business like your business. Like, it's not cute.
It's not.
Teacher or not, it's not cute. This one is teachers who don't teach and use my money to market themselves, focusing more on getting a good video instead of actually teaching. I feel like this one goes back to the ego one.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like
just do a concept video. It's really not that serious. Like, that's my thing. And I said this but in the filming episode too. If you want to film something, if you like have a whole concept of like how something should be filmed, like just do a concept video. Like, we have access to like whole ass production studios, whole ass videographers. Don't use class time to do all that. Like, There's been times where I'm like, oh, that would be so cool if we film class like this, da 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 da. And I'm like, honestly, that's doing too much. Like, just like rent out Hendo and do a concept video.
Yeah,
Easy.
and you're going to get better content that way anyway.
You're going to get better content.
Because it's not going to be a rush to like, okay, we have to film this in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then it's kind of weird when like the teacher's trying to like set things and like nonchalantly choose a specific group of people. It's like, we all know what you're doing. Like, it's fine. You guys just like take an hour out of class and do this. Like, it's really not that deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, using someone else's money to do it is that deep.
Yeah, everybody's time is so important. You need to be really respectful of other people's time. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Just do a concept video. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this one is important. Too much talking, not enough running it with music. I'm scared I do this. I hope I don't do this.
No.
With my beginners. I don't know. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask them some of these questions on Friday. Guys, do I talk too much and not run it with music? They'll tell me. My beginners are honest.
Well,
I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say feedback is always good.
I love it. Especially shout out Rosie. Rosie is always telling me she's keeping me in check. I know she is. I love you, Rosie.
I know. I love her too. She always gives good feedback, and it's just like, yes, she's like says what you're feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No, I think this is a thing because I did take class on Friday, and it was like the teacher had really great points. Like, she was very philosophical, but I was like, okay, like, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? And then when it came down to the last like 15 minutes of class, we were rushed. Like, she just taught the last fucking 4 8 counts in like 10 minutes, and we were all stressed. So be mindful of talking with doing, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do like sometimes when the teacher does, has a message for the class. Like, I really like that. If like you want to start the class with affirmations or something, like, I really appreciate that. But I feel like being aware of, how long you're talking for is really important. And I feel like maybe as a teacher, if like you're like, okay, I need to do this many runs, and I make sure I hit that every time, that'll keep it from overlapping.
That's a good one.
Because sometimes I do like to go to class and like just hear the teacher preach. I'm like, I'm here to
sometimes you're in the mood for it, and then sometimes I'm like, okay,
yes. But if I get a certain amount of runs in and I feel like, okay, but I got a good amount of both.
Yeah, sometimes you be like, can you talk for a little bit? I need to breathe. Can you please get on a pedestal about something? I need to breathe for a second. I need to go to the corner and just like think. Yeah.
I need a drink of water.
Yeah.
Also, we need more water breaks.
Water breaks are very needed. Yeah.
No one gives water breaks.
No one does water breaks. I didn't know if people like that or not. They're like, you're just trying to. Well,
no, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just extra thirsty.
Okay, I have a question for you, actually, because I've been doing this forgetting choreo. I don't know what it is lately, and my beginners know. I'm like, bear with me. I'm like not retaining any choreo right now, like what I'm teaching. I don't know if it's because I like teach all in one weekend, so I have like 15 different choreos in my head and like all that. But like I'll be like, oh my god, can you guys give me 1 second while I like? Does that bother you?
No, that never bothers me. I just feel like,
don't lie to me.
I am always on 100 in my brain. So I won't expect anybody to be on 100 for me.
Ooh.
I mean, if it's a really, really expensive class, like, and it's like a workshop or something, then that's a little different. No,
the choreo.
But if it's, because then it just throws off the flow of the class.
The flow.
And you might have paid a lot, things like that. But if it's just, a weekly class or whatever the case may be, it never bothers me. I just go, I'll give you that time. And I wait there and I try and do the choreo. I try and do the choreo that I did learn. And then I wait to let the teacher get caught up. I never get bothered.
Yeah, I need to get caught up. I don't know what was like the last like 2 weeks, my choreo retention when I'm teaching, I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, no, that's not it. Let me just like go review it real quick. Yeah.
I've never had it be where somebody like forgot all of it. And, I just think it just happens sometimes.
It does happen. We are fucking human. I will say that.
Yeah.
Interesting. teaching a ton of choreo without even showing the song. It's meaningless movement. This is like, this be happening.
Yeah.
Like, I would hear about this and I'm like, who is doing all this teaching of choreo without the song? But it does happen.
I've had that happen a lot.
A lot. How do you feel about it personally?
I feel like sometimes for me, and I'm just like a masochist maybe, I'm like, well, see if you can get it. See if you can retain it all.
And that's on period.
Like, I challenge myself and I'm like, you better retain it. And then when they turn that music on, you better just show up, show out and do it.
Right.
And I try to be a little bit, I try to challenge myself in those ways. So it doesn't bother me as much, but that usually happens in advanced classes where they're like, I want to get this choreo out because it's a lot of 8 counts.
Yeah.
So they're not going to like turn on the music, turn on the 8 counts, turn on the music, turn on the 8 counts. Also, I think that kind of messes you up. At least messes me up when I'm like, I haven't had a chance to run it a lot. And if you just give me the music, I'm not hearing the counts.
Yes.
That's just my take. What
yeah. I know why teachers do this. It's to get choreo out so we can finish the choreo for you guys. Because when we're teaching it, I don't know how other teachers be feeling, but I'm just like, let me get them through this. Like, it is a journey when we're getting people through choreo, because I don't know, anytime you're showing people choreo for the first time, there's like questions and like it's stress. So I know I do this when I'm trying to get the choreo out for you guys, because I'm like, just trust me. Please just trust me. I'm not going to lead you astray. With that being said, I like to at least show them the song ahead of time, at least.
That's
or
what it is.
Do like a mark or something so you guys know where we're going. But like, sometimes we can't stop every 8 count and like review it with the music, because it'll take longer, and you can do it. It's like, I know that we can do it without the music. Now, if it's like super musicality, fuck yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I feel like if it's a song where you're like, if I just teach you the counts, you're going to be all over the place when I actually play it. Please play it. Please play it a lot. Because if you're like doing it on like the run that they're doing, I need to hear that.
Yeah.
I need to hear that.
Counts is different. Yeah, exactly. Don't nobody do counts no more.
That's my
Look.
pet peeve. I feel like I get it. It is a journey to learn the counts. It's a journey. But it's so helpful to the student long term if you're teaching in counts, you guys. I just that's my biggest thing. I feel like has helped me in my growth, and that's like my favorite teachers do counts. Every time I've taught to counts, everyone is so clean. Every time I've taught to like words or like vibe or whatever the fuck is the other option, everyone is like, they still get it, but it is not as clean. My beginners, oh my God, when I was doing facility, those workshops, so clean, because I would specifically teach to counts. And like, I forgot who says it in San Diego. Who is it? There's a teacher in San Diego that says counts save lives. I'm like, that's on period. Who's it? Somebody at Culture Shock. I can't remember who it is. I can't remember either, but yeah.
But counts do save lives, and that's on period. Yeah.
I think it's so important. And you can do a song off of, or you can do a choreo off of a song. It doesn't feel the same when you're performing it at the end of class. I don't feel as connected to it.
Yeah,
to be
you
honest.
don't.
I don't know why I don't feel as connected, because if I'm just jamming in my room, it's like a fun freestyle. But if I'm trying to remember choreography to a song, I need to know when I'm on beat, or else then I just feel really like I'm not even dancing to this song. I don't know.
And then teachers be like, listen to your music.
Yeah.
Have fun. I'm like, okay, what is it? Have fun, listen to the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Be clean. I can't do everything.
Yes.
Good. So this one is other students talking over the instructor. I think we kind of addressed this with Cece too. Like, raise your hand. Like, she was saying one of her pet peeves was when students just blurt stuff out. And I think this is other students noticing that you're blurting shit out, friend. Raise your hand.
Yeah. I think you thinking the choreo is hard and wanting to ask a question in that moment, it can wait, I feel. And I actually appreciate when a teacher's like, wait for questions. Or when a teacher says, I'm going to run this through and then you can ask questions. I feel like for me, maybe sometimes as a student, you don't know when is a good time to ask questions, because sometimes the teacher doesn't leave that space open for like, okay, now you can ask.
Yeah.
Because it is hindering if you're asking in the middle of them teaching it and they're like, I was just about to go over that.
Right.
You know? And also if like the teacher is teaching it to maybe somebody in the corner and you're not listening and you're in the other corner and you're just kind of like talking with your friend, but they already taught that. I feel like
When
out
you
of
should be
respect
listening.
and just out of like somebody just asked a question that you might have later, you got to listen. Even if you have to be like, what are they saying? You still, should always listen and not interrupt the teacher.
Raise your hand. Don't blurt it out. I always I'll be like, okay, we're going to run it 3 times and then questions.
I like that.
Because sometimes you just need to put your body through the motions and then you're like, oh, everyone's stepping with their left foot. Got it. Never mind.
Yes.
You don't need to stop class for that. You could just kind of figure that out. Oh, okay, everyone's weight is here. Everyone's doing this. But also, like I said, as a teacher, you have to create that space for your students. Maybe they're blurting shit out because you're not letting them, allowing that space where they can ask the question. Make sure that you, hey, how are we doing? Raise your hand if you have a question. If you expect that out of your students, make sure you frame it that way. So then people aren't just, well, I'm going to blurt something out because they're going from A to Z so fast, you know? Yeah. Good.
Agree.
People coming in late and then asking the instructor to go over the choreo. This was actually an instructor pet peeve too. And actually Cece said she doesn't mind people coming in late. It's the audacity for you to ask me to reteach the choreo from the beginning.
Yeah, stuff happens. You might come in late. I mean, obviously if that's if that's an ongoing trait of yours, you might want to get that in check because it's a little just disruptive.
You can't just keep doing that, Fran.
Yeah, but no, you cannot ask the teacher to redo it again. One, that's rude to the other teacher or to the other students who have already been learning it.
Right.
And 2, it's they are not. That'll add an extra 10 minutes, however long you were late onto class. No.
Yeah.
You just have to pick it up.
And also don't ask, if you're my friend, just don't ask me either.
Seriously.
Don't ask me to go over the choreo real quick for
today.
you. I'm so sorry. I love you, but no.
I was not late today. So.
Oh my God. Can you imagine having to reteach what we learned last night? Oh, here, let me show you it real quick. And also he's teaching more stuff.
Let me teach it to you. You'll be all wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would ever ask this, but you never know. There is people that have audacity. So if you're one of those people, just letting you know right now, your friend is stressed out. The teacher is trying to stay on time. They don't have time to go back and reteach the choreo. Just learn from the point that you get there and you'll pick up that beginning.
So true. You're going to eventually get it. You're going to see it. Obviously
you have no choice.
You're gonna see it. So, and if that whole front half of the choreo is messed up for you, oh well, that way you learn. Now you learn to come on time.
Hey, sometimes you have to learn the hard way. I've learned many a thing the hard way.
Yep.
This one is the teacher continuously running late or starting late. It's disrespectful to my time. And someone added on when people schedule class super late or go over due to filming. So just running late in general, starting late. Yeah. And I think that we sometimes want to, well, actually, let me not say we, because I asked Cece okay, well, you wait, for everybody to get there. And she's like, I wait 5 minutes and then I start on time because we have to be respectful of the studio's time too. You know what I mean? And sometimes I will start later because I'm well, let me allow you guys to get here because you're texting me and blah, blah, blah. But also I have to respect the studio's time too. So sometimes you can't start late. Sometimes we have to be on time, you guys. Sometimes you just gotta be on time. You cannot be late.
Well, are they saying their pet peeve is the teacher being late? Or
the teacher being late. So the teacher coming in late, the teacher starting late, the class running late. Because some of these classes, we've talked about this, we try to wake up at 5 and stuff. I cannot with the class going till 11:30, something like that. I'm just bro, I gotta go.
Like, yeah, that messes me up. And then I can't do like my wind down and have my protein
exactly.
and do my abs and things like that. Yeah, it's I like when a teacher says, we are gonna run late, you can stay if you want.
Yeah. I'll do that. I'll be like, class is officially over. We're going to film like some extra groups if you guys want to stay. I'll do that if like we're going to film. Because sometimes people just want to film more. So I'll do that. But like, I'm like, yeah, class is officially over.
Or if you're going to go run longer in the class and somebody has to go, just mention that and be like, and if it's because of filming, and if the person is maybe upset that they don't get an opportunity to film because the class is running so late, and they have to go, be like, anybody that needs to go, do you want to go first?
Do you want to film? That is so respectful of people's time. That would be really nice.
Yeah, only if it's going over, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like other than that, sometimes I do. If I don't have anything to do the next day, I'm like, let's stay here all day. Let's just chill.
Yeah, sometimes, honestly, for me, I'm trying to go to bed. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie. Like, if we, I got to go.
You are always like.
I am. And then, like, I don't even, like, Liz knows. I'm trying to get better about saying goodbye to the choreographer, but I'm like, bye, thank you. Like, but I'm out.
You have really long days, and
I gotta go to bed.
You have something to do within like the next
I cannot
few hours, so it's like, okay, yeah, it is time to go. And sometimes the wait is long, but
I can't be the only one. Like, there's got to be a bunch of us that like wake up early, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we can't be running late. I'm guilty of this too. I think when I teach and stuff, yeah, like, because we do want to film everybody, or we want to, so we got to be respectful of people's time, you guys.
Or have your class start earlier.
Have the class start earlier. Extend the length of the class. I've done that. I've done that before. Yeah. Where I'm just like, hey, you know what? An hour 15 is not enough. Like, let me do an hour 30. Let me do an hour 45, whatever it may be. Yeah, those are good. Those are good alternatives for that. This one is cutting the combo short because the teacher was late or students are not getting it. Somebody else added on spending too much time in the beginning. So this one's interesting. Okay, well, cutting the combo short because the teacher's late, unacceptable. That's effed up. Why am I gonna say effed up now? I've been saying fucked up this whole entire time. Let's not be PC now. That's fucked up. Don't do that. Now, sometimes, like for my beginners, I will cut the combo because I'm like, it's not about how much I'm giving you. It's about the quality. And I want you guys to feel good and not stressed about the choreo. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's an interesting take from you because I feel like sometimes.
My beginners.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Sometimes, like, it is good to have that push.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, but I do want to learn, so don't take it easy on me.
Right.
But I also get it. Sometimes it's like, well, I do want to feel good today, and like I got everything.
Right.
So maybe just like asking the students, like, let's do a vote. Who wants to learn more? Who wants to keep going? Or who wants to stop? Because, I feel like there's always those students that are like, I want to keep going. But if it's the majority that are like, no, I'm good with it today. Then I feel like that's a good place to start. But I feel like just the choreographer being like, we're going to stop. It kind of like, at least it's always made me feel like, oh, you don't believe in me.
Oh, that's a good take on that. I never thought about that. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm always like, how do you guys feel? Like, I'm like, how do you guys feel? Like there's more, but I want you to feel good. But yeah, like there's those students who are like, I want more. So yeah, I think I've heard that from a few students too, where they're like, I want more. Yeah.
I think it's taking a vote. And sometimes I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable speaking up in class, which I feel like that's hard for me at my job, is getting people to speak up in meetings and things like that. But I feel like a lot of it has to do with like just creating that space for people to
do it,
to feel comfortable enough to be like, yeah, I'm good, or yeah, I want to learn more.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing in my so for my intermediate, I'm just like, we're learning it. I don't know. Like when I did like, I can't remember, like sex room. It was like 2 minutes. It was unnecessary. But I was like, we're doing it. I don't know. Like y'all are intermediate. Figure it out. For coaching though, I've been having them stop where they feel comfortable. Because I was running into that where I was like, some people wanted to stop, some people wanted to keep going. So I was like, wherever you feel like you need to stop there. And if you want more, I have more for you.
Ooh, I like that.
So then people had different stop levels.
I love that.
I thought it was good and I would only do that for coaching. Like, class is too much.
Yeah, that's such a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. Yeah. Because then people had different, like...
They have their own goals.
Yeah. And I was like, and you need to make that call.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make that call for you. Like, oh, I was like, if you want to learn the whole thing, then I have it for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm going to have this discussion with my beginners are going to have lots of questions for me on Friday to make sure I want to make sure I'm giving you guys a good class environment, you know? This one is teachers and students constantly screaming and cheering while you're dancing. This is, I'm assuming this is like when people are like, yes, bitch.
Is that when the teacher's like showing the choreography for the first time and people are cheering?
Students, I think teachers and students constantly screaming and cheering while you're dancing. I think this is while they're dancing and like doing groups and people are screaming. I guess maybe like mindless screaming, not so much, you know, just yes for like no reason. I could see how that could be like distracting.
We want to be supportive friends for sure. I feel like, and the community is lacking sometimes in like the sideline support, you know, and it should just be like a place where we're all having fun and cheering each other on. But yeah, if you're just screaming at the top of your lungs, there's a balance. There's like a time to, you know, also just feel it.
Yeah.
Just feel it. It's not like anybody's, you know, gonna reprimand you for the way you're doing it, really, but just if it feels natural to you, then that's where you should come from when you're doing that. Because also sometimes if you're screaming at the student dancing or the teacher dancing, it might throw them off.
Yeah, like it could be distracting, or like even if it's like not like genuine, like if you're just screaming just to scream, you know what I mean? Like
you can feel that energy.
I like when it's quiet and then I'll do something and someone will be like, yes. I'm like, oh, I know it was good.
Yes.
Because like you guys aren't just screaming. So if it's like dead silent and something happens, I'm like, okay, that was a good move.
Yes. And that's the best way to come from it. Because the whole way through, I'm not killing it the whole time.
There's no fucking way. I mean, hey, there might be some people that fucking are, but
I do scream sometimes the whole way through, but you know.
When it's warranted. Yeah. Like, don't just give me like, make me work for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is the last one. I think this is a really important one. Teachers not giving you genuine feedback when asked. If you were a teacher, this is like your only job. This is like your only job is like really to give feedback and to facilitate growth. If you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing. That's my little teacher hot take.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you feel like teachers are, because I feel this too, like I feel sometimes I'll ask for feedback and maybe they just weren't watching me or something, or maybe they haven't been paying attention.
We see everybody.
Okay, that's what I wonder, because I'm like, then do you just have no feedback for me?
I think some teachers might be shielding your feelings. Not the like, I'm not saying that directly to you.
I don't want my feelings to be shielded, and obviously do it if you are gonna, you know, be a little bit like say something that might not hurt my feelings.
There's a way to say it though. Like you don't have to be like, because that's the only thing. Because if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you work on this, this, and this, and this. I'm not gonna say it in like a mean way, but I could see how maybe there might be teachers that don't want to say anything because they're like, like I can't even think of any other, unless you're really. I'm saying it, like, unless you're being like a lazy teacher and you're not watching everybody, but like we see everybody. Like there's no way to not see everybody in your class.
Yeah, and it might be if the teacher has a lot of ego, maybe they're focusing on themselves.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that might be it. But
don't ask for genuine feedback from them teachers.
Yeah.
But that is like as a student, you're just trying to figure out if you're doing the right thing and like but this also goes back to sometimes you have to just validate yourself.
Yeah, and you can have a video and look back and be like, I need to get better on that. Especially if you're in a group and you like the way everybody's textures are, if you like their timing or things like that, you're like, okay, I need to get better on my timing and my textures.
Right.
And my technique. You know, things like that. It's like, you know, and it is good to have a good teacher's feedback sometimes, like specific feedback that they might see because they're the teacher. They have so much experience. But yeah, I feel like holding yourself accountable too is good. For those things. But I've experienced that a lot where like the teacher, I'm just like, I'm getting nothing.
You know what I'm seeing a theme of? And like, I'm going to call teachers out. Like, I don't know if we're doing a good job, you guys. Like, I just from like all of the, because I got more feedback from students for teachers in classrooms than I did for choreographers to students. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, teachers are not doing their job. Like, there should be no feeling of the teacher is not giving me. I told you, like, the teacher came up to me after class the other day and just gave me random feedback. And I was like, oh, fuck, I love this class. Like,
I literally asked her, I was like, how do I unlock that? That's something I feel like I'm craving.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with a learning environment where it's all on me. I do feel really independent.
Right.
But I know that is something that I'm craving lately is like, okay, I do want to have feedback so I can have a place of somewhere I can come from to grow.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that teacher came up to you and was just like, here's what I've seen, you know, and you can tell which student I feel like might not take that the best.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you can just say, hey, can I give you some feedback? I noticed some stuff. And if the person says no, then be like, okay, they're just here for fun. They don't necessarily want to work on anything.
Right. Yeah. No, and it's like you did say, like, yes, like as students, we have this like responsibility, like I'm responsible for my learning. Absolutely. But like you should be able to trust your teachers to give you that feedback, to like help facilitate your growth, to like, that's what they're there for. So like, I feel like that's what I was getting a lot from these, like these questions is like, ultimately you have to worry about yourself. Like if the teacher's like, and that kind of sucks. Like that really does kind of suck.
Yeah. And I know I don't speak for every student, so I know I'm on here as a student, and
a lot of the students were saying that.
Yeah, that's what all of the, like everything everybody said, I can relate to. And I know for me, I am a little bit different where like I do like to go to class and just I'll rock with anything pretty much. Right.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I do feel like it's a give and take. It's like it's a relationship with one person and a whole group. So there has to be a way that we all like meet and come together to some sort of agreement with each other.
Yes.
You know, so it's just a good environment. I feel like with the way that the dance community has been, you know, after COVID, it's a little bit bumpy going back into like the road of like the engine, the well-oiled engine it was before, where it's like everybody comes in class and everybody knows what to do and everybody, you know, it was kind of like that. Just
there's expectations on both sides.
Mm-hmm. But now it's kind of like people have been gone from the class setting for so long, and there's new people who haven't been in dance before, and I feel like it's kind of on all of us, the students and the teachers, to
bring it back
and really put in that effort, you know, and really care.
And it only works if everybody's doing it. It doesn't work if like only a couple students are doing it out of this class or only a couple teachers. It really like, it really is detrimental that everybody is on the same page. This might be one of those things where I have to revisit this like idea of how we both can improve on both sides, because we did like, so last week, you know, we brought up a lot of the concerns, and then this week, you know, we brought up a lot of the concerns, but like going forward, how are we going to fix that on both sides? Like, how can we make it better for students to be better students, and how can we make it better for teachers to be better teachers? Because that's the only way that everyone's going to get better. Otherwise, we're still going to have complaints. People are still going to complain. People are still going to complain about each other. People are, you know what I mean? And then every man for themselves. I'm just going to be responsible for my learning, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
No, that's not what the dance community is about anyway.
No, hell no.
We can all dance alone in our rooms, but
right.
At the end
of the day, I mean, shit. Might as well why am I paying you? Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why am I calling myself a teacher if I'm not really going to teach? Why am I paying you if you're not really going to teach? Like, yeah. So I don't know. This might be one of those things. I'm going to have to like keep working on it and keep
Well, I think it's good to talk about it, especially with the fact that like everybody responded to it.
Bro, so you guys have and I'll probably do like a little snippet share, like hide people's answers or whatever for anonymity. I don't know what the fuck. Anonymity. But there was so much input on all of these on all of these concerns on both sides. It was insane. Like I really didn't think there was going to be so many, and I didn't have any intention of making this like a whole podcast episode, and here it is 2 episodes. So obviously there is some things that like on both sides that we can work on. And I feel like it's never easy, but it's like simple.
Yeah.
It's never like easy, but it's like simple fixes, you know?
I think it's simple fixes. And if you just work on your own inner journey, everybody does it.
As a teacher and as a student, inner journey for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we covered a lot. I love all this input. I know as a teacher, I'm going to be thinking about all of these things for sure, because I want to make sure I've got all of my students covered. They feel really well supported by me. And this is definitely going to be a discussion that I'm probably going to revisit. I'm going to revisit because it is important how we can do it. Now we know what's wrong, but now we need to figure out the how we can fix things. Beautiful. So before we wrap up the episode, I want to do a little this or that situation because, I just love to put my guests on the spot.
I know.
Nothing says thank you like awkward questions, right? So we're going to have a little this or that session with Liz. So just whatever comes to the top of your head first, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Hip hop or jazz funk?
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
Always.
I kind of knew that, yeah.
Always.
Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Don't make me choose.
I know.
Barbenheimer is my
it's your shit.
Trait. I would say Barbie.
Wow.
Because I think the message about the patriarchy is just so strong.
Isn't it so crazy? Little tidbit.
It.
I took Aaron to go see it. He fell asleep. Don't hate my man. You guys will love him.
You didn't fall asleep to Oppenheimer?
We didn't go see it.
Okay.
But, honestly, like, tidbit, we had some drinks or, like, some edibles. Okay. So, yeah. Red wine or white wine?
Oh, man, that's hard. I used to be super red wine before.
Ooh.
But I'm almost 30. So.
I know. Be sophisticated.
So I think it's white wine these days.
White wine. Yeah. I love white wine, honestly.
Natural white wine.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Oh my God, that's hard.
Ooh.
I would say Prince.
Me too. Yeah.
I just feel like deep down in my soul when Prince sings, I just feel like
they're both great. Like, you know what I'm
Obviously,
saying?
yeah,
but
yeah.
like Prince just does something to me.
I know.
He does. Okay, girl. Going on tour with Bad Bunny or going on tour with Becky G? You.
Becky G.
That one was easy.
Hello.
Love
My
it.
girl.
Oh, I can't wait to see you on tour with her. Right on. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, rate me 5 stars. You guys know I'm still doing my shout outs. If you leave a little rate or a question, send this over to some dancers and some teachers that can learn some things from both sides. Okay. And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.